In this video, we're gonna talk about the nice guy, nice girl syndrome and how to break free. We're gonna look at what is the one underlying cause, the root cause that you must work on if you really wanna be free from people-pleasing tendency, from being nice, from just appearing a certain way, from being inauthentic, from struggling to create, connect, and have this fulfilling relationship that you want with yourself and other people. If you've been struggling with being too nice, the main reason is because of your self-image. And more accurately, it is your self-worth. You see, we, through conditioning, and that starts often very young in our childhood, we create those patterns, those inhibition in our personality, in our identity. And what tends to happen is that we repress a lot of shame about who we are through experiences, through the family, through what happens. We're taught that we have to be a certain way, not another way. So there's all those dynamics that takes place. And so shame is often one of the core emotions that makes us feel like there's something wrong with me. I cannot be loved the way I am. So in order to get love when we're young, we start to look at who do I need to be for my mom or my dad or my caretakers to love me, and what is it that I need to avoid doing, right? And so all of us create strategy, coping mechanism to receive love and to try to avoid the pain, the opposite. And so we can repress, deny, suppress emotions, certain part of our personality, certain of our desires. We can create certain patterns, certain masks, certain ways of being that is not us authentically, but that we have created to simply be loved or to avoid pain or to, be the best way we knew when we were young, right? So this is a generalized explanation because of course we all have our own stories and our own ways of growing up. But basically, often what I see with my clients and what I've seen in myself working on my own old nice guy tendency is that there's a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. And so the nice guy syndrome really comes from like, if I am nice and if I create no problem, and if I'm just that loving, person, so to speak, if I take care of other people's needs and I'm nice to them, they will love me back. So there is this almost hidden expectation that we place on other people, right? Where I'm gonna be nice to others, I'm gonna create no conflict, I'm gonna be a no problem person, and so I'm not gonna affirm my need, affirm my opinion, I'm not gonna create problem, and I'm gonna do all those things, so I'm just gonna be nice, I'm gonna wear that mask, I'm gonna be who I think the other person wants me to be, right? That's what, nice guy and nice girl do very often, is that they morph into who they think they need to be loved by that person, accepted by that person. And so they have so much inhibition in terms of saying no, speaking up, afraid of being rejection, afraid of being mistaken, anything that can expose vulnerability, weakness. Another word for that is feeling shameful about who they are. Because the core wound of the nice guy, nice girl is that toxic shame in their identity. It's feeling like there's something wrong with them at their core, right? And why and the story and so on is unique to all of us, right? So it's not about psychoanalyzing anything here, but it's just about being aware. As long as that shame and low self-worth is there, you will be dependent on those coping mechanisms to receive love, to be a certain way, to act with other people, because otherwise you'll feel vulnerable, you'll feel weak, you'll feel unloved. And so what that means is that if you want to break free from being a nice guy or a nice girl, you gotta look deep inside of yourself. And you gotta allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself, to be honest with yourself, to look at the part of you that you dislike, that you are ashamed of. Then maybe it's your body, maybe it's certain part of your personality, maybe it's all the things that happened in your past. You gotta be willing to look at yourself in a different way and to start introducing love, acceptance, and less judgment, less criticism about yourself. You gotta start being able to accept and love yourself first, because if you don't, then there's no other way other people could love or accept you if you don't even accept yourself. So it is your responsibility first to go inside of yourself and to heal and release all of that toxic shame about who you are. You know, and so many of us harbor beliefs deep in our identity that I'm not good enough, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm a sinner, I'm, you know, whatever the name, whatever the identity, whatever the belief that we created when we were so young, that makes us feel like bad about being who we are, and makes us feel like I gotta compensate, I gotta be a different person to be loved. That is what must go. You must start to see your completeness, your perfection in who you are, perfectly imperfect. And so as you are going through this process of healing, releasing, and, you know, allowing yourself to feel vulnerable, to no longer need to hide who you are, hide your thoughts, hide your opinion, hide your anger, hide your fear, hide everything that you think makes you feel vulnerable. When you start to no longer feel like you need to hide who you are, because your emotions are the deepest part of you, right? Your emotions, how you experience certain things, is how you experience your reality. So it's the most accurate way of knowing how you experience certain things in your life. And so healing the nice guy, nice girl syndrome comes a lot on working on your self-worth and allowing yourself to feel everything that needs to be felt, allowing yourself to have all the negative emotion, all the positive emotions, without associating weakness, without associating shame, without repressing them, without moving away from them. And this is when you become a fully more integrated human beings. And so when you come from this place, what you notice is that you will start to get your power back, your authenticity back, your voice back, your confidence back. Because as you start to accept yourself, you no longer need and depend on other people's acceptance so much. Yeah? So this is the beauty of it. As you start to accept yourself, as you start to be more loving toward yourself, you no longer crave, need, or chase that from others as much. And so things start to come back into balance, and now you're able to be a more integrated human being, asserting yourself, speaking your mind, connecting deeper, sharing your opinion, letting people in, letting people see your failures, letting people see your weaknesses, letting people see where you are in your life, the work in progress that you are in your life, without feeling threatened by it, but simply knowing that you are on your way and that you're okay with where you are and where you're going. And so the process of overcoming the nice guy, nice girl is a deep one, because you gotta go deep in your sense of identity, who you are, and look at that toxic shame, toxic fear, toxic guilt that has been often very deeply repressed, along with anger and rage and hatred. And you gotta start working on those, because as long as those are repressed down there, you will continue to hide from them. As long as you don't accept your own emotions from the past and all those things that, you know, are just bubbling up to be felt, to be released, to be outgrown, as long as you're trying to hide those aspects of yourself, you will hide from other people, and you won't be able to be authentic, because you don't allow yourself to be authentic even with yourself. And so this is the journey of overcoming that nice guy, nice girl syndrome. It is not simple and, you know, overnight, but it is so worth it. And it's something that every single one of us can do. And I can tell you from my personal life and working with a lot of clients that it is deeply meaningful to do so, because it is one of the most life-changing things. When you truly get your power back, your self-love back, and your sense of true self-worth back, life and people start to completely transform, because you have transformed. All right, guys, it's for this video. Thank you for watching this. If you like this type of video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you can see more of this type of videos. As always, I will see you next time. Be well.